with the way the economy is right now, man. Shoot.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get into that too, because I would like to talk about what's going on with the presidential nominees later on in the show if we have time. So, or maybe next show. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. So, it's late February. We're recording this on what's today? February 25th.
Yeah.
We're kind of late, of course, but we want to, bring up the Grammys. I personally didn't get a chance to watch it, but I did get a chance to watch the Kendrick Lamar performance. Very, very good performance. For the most part, I know most of the Kendrick Lamar primarily swept the Grammys as far as in the hip hop category. I went through the results and kind of looked at it the night after.
Yeah, he really did. I think he got like 4 Grammys.
Yeah, something like that.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bunch.
But his performance was like a shocker to the crowd. And so with that, okay. I don't get, and we can also pull in the other thing we was going to talk about too, which was the whole, let's bring up Super Bowl with Beyonce and the her formation video. I don't, honestly, I do not get the uproar and why it's such a big deal with what she did and what Kendrick Lamar did. I don't understand why it's so controversial. Because I can give you examples of a couple things. Okay, in the beginning of hip hop, you had Public Enemy that were fight the power. Same type of, and you had that era of hip hop where it was just fighting against, whatever was going on, whether it was, racial tension in, the Rodney King situation, or just in general, or that just was a subject of the times that people, wanted to express themselves in music. Music is a thing of expression. Another example, okay, let's compare two artists' performances here. This was actually something that was up on Facebook that I passed by. They gave a Madonna performance, and it was more the dancers had on satanic horns pretty much in the performance, and you compare her performance to Beyonce. But so devil worshiping is okay versus you trying to make the Black Panthers look bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that what the Black Panthers did in the past was 100% okay. But at the same time, don't make them out to be as bad, as some people perceive to be. That didn't, because you weren't there and you didn't live in the time period. So how do you really know? You're just going off of what a book somebody wrote about them. Right, and what a lot of people don't know is, what a lot of white people don't know is that one of the programs that they benefit from when they had their children was started by the Black Panthers, which is Women, Infant, and Children, which we all call WIC. That was started by the Black Panthers, and the government seen what it did, and they started providing it too. So before you judge an organization, find out more about them. You know what I'm saying? You want to call them a terrorist group, but the only homegrown terrorist group that's still functioning that I don't see nobody bothering or downplaying other than the black people are the Ku Klux Klan. And with me being from the South, with me living in Mississippi, they don't show their face around the area that we live in. They did once before back in the early 90s, and they almost got killed. So, that is a real terrorist organization, and they've been formed ever since the late 1800s. So before you try to
I've never seen anything positive from the Ku Klux Klan. So before people try to denigrate the Black Panthers, find out more about them and see what they did, they only used violence toward the police when the police unjustly did something to neighborhoods. And the Black Panthers just didn't have all black people in it. They had white people. They had Asians. They were for anybody that was facing, oppression. Racial injustice, any oppression. Yeah, right. Any oppression from the police in the system that was established at that time.
Right. Other thing about that. Okay, so Formation video. I watched the video, I think probably like a couple of days after it dropped or whatever. At first I was trying to kind of sort of ignore it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm like, because everybody know there's a lot of people, internet diehard Beyonce fans. I don't run so quickly to a Beyonce video too much. But I just had to see what the whole hoopla was about with the whole thing. And the whole thing is like, okay, this is what I got from the video. Beyonce from that video is Beyonce, of course, Houston, yes, which is right next to Louisiana, light-skinned chick. So therefore, I'm pretty sure she probably has Creole roots. So which Creole dates back to Louisiana.
Yeah, she said it in the song.
Right, and I didn't even pick it up from. I just picked it up just from watching the imagery. Wasn't even too much paying attention to what she was saying. I pretty much just looked at the imagery because that's what everybody's been talking about. Okay, so pretty sure she has roots out of Louisiana, for whatever, because she has Creole roots. So other thing, everybody was like, okay, the kid is dancing in front of the riot squad saying, "Please don't shoot." It's a message of showing what's going on what's going on in the world. Because case in point, there was a little kid that got shot in Chicago by cops.
There was a little kid named Tamir Rice that was shot by cops.
Right.
A 12-year-old boy.
Right. So it could have been something as up to that as well. Also, Katrina is another example. Case in point, it's 2016. Katrina happened in 2006. We're about to hit the 10-year anniversary. So that could have been that could have been a tribute to that particular situation they were about to come up on in August of this year. So, I'm not.
Nah, the 10-year anniversary was back in August of 05.
05? It was 05?
Yeah, it was 05. Trust me, it was 05. I was living down there.
Okay, so but still, it's still milestone, whatever. She still probably want to bring up the situation or whatever. However, but I just like I said, I honestly don't get it. I feel like the world that I personally grew up in. I think like now we're so PC. And what I mean by PC is the world right now is so politically correct about every single thing. They don't want you to whip your child. They don't. It's like there's all this stuff. They don't want you to do that their claim is not right. It's like, come on, man. Look, I got a kid. Like whatever I do and how I discipline my child is my business. And
as long as you don't hurt them.
Right. As long as I don't do no bodily harm where I'm trying to like the child is about to be then yeah, let me punish my child the way I want to. And we are just the, how I want to say.
In my opinion, and especially with the police officers, they don't want nobody to talk against them and talk about what they're doing because they talking about they have a dangerous job. But you signed up for that job. Nobody made you do that job. And it's not your job to be the executioner and the jury. You have a taser. You have a baton. You don't always have to reach for your weapon.
Yeah, there are plenty of situations where, yes, you're not supposed to, as an officer, from what we know as the general public,
you're not supposed to shoot to kill. You're supposed to, neutralize, basically. And in a lot of the situations, that hasn't been done. Yes, there are, bad and corrupt cops. But then there are people that just drunk with power when they're given a position of power, and that goes from your police officer all the way up to the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I mean, that just does that to people when they feel like they can control people's fates when it comes to anything, or your life or your livelihood is in their hands, whether it be, by a lethal weapon or whether it be financially. So it's just
right. I mean, and then like I was watching a video of a cop that was arrested he got caught raping women. He was using his badge to rape women and sexually assault women. And while he was getting his sentence, he started crying. You ain't think he thought he was gonna never get caught because he was a police officer, but you gonna start crying when you get your sentence, and then they gonna put you in jam pop. So they gonna put you in there where you done put other people probably unjustly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't think about that. They don't think about
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. All I was saying is they don't think about the fact that there's a possibility that you can't get caught, and then the same people whose lives you ruin, you're gonna have to see them again. That's why I'm a firm believer in karma. What goes around comes around, and you're gonna get yours in one way or the other. And these police officers need to start realizing it.
That's one thing they do got to realize, man, because, especially with that situation you mentioned about the cop that was, raping the women or whatever, and, they're the most coldest, guys in jail. That's some people, pressure point is like, raping women and hurting kids. You just made yourself automatically a victim when they found out what you're in for. So
right. And then they want to talk about their families. Look how many families' lives you ruin for somebody just having a little weed on them. Or, like a man went to jail for stealing some food for his family. Okay, yeah, he could have went to jail, but you could have also just made him do community service and work the time off, but you put him in prison. It's just the system is flawed because we got prisons built in this company that they are prisons for profit. The same companies that wouldn't even hire these black men, these Latino men, or these underprivileged white people, the same companies that wouldn't hire them want them in jail so they don't have to pay them. Man, I swear, man, we need to get this system changed, and I mean it needs to change immediately before this country totally gets fed up and revolts, and then we'll be at another civil war.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, talking about the unjust things and things of that nature in the country. Yeah, I know you said you brought up young, we'll give some thoughts on these presidential candidates. Okay, I give my take on it. Me personally, I honestly I'm not the most political person. I don't particularly watch a lot of the debates and things of that nature. Well, I know with the people who are in the running right now to be honest, it don't look good. I'm talking about whether you be Republican or Democrat, it just don't look good for either side, honestly. Like nobody's coming to the table with anything that's worth anything, honestly.